speaker is giving a non-manual speech. It's going to be 6 to 8 minutes, and you're on, by the way. And so what she wanted me to tell you is a quote from a book by, my writing, okay, James Clear, I think. Okay, James Clear, and it's called the Creating Atomic Habits. He says, if you want to master a habit, the key is to start with repetition, not perfection. I'm quite fascinated by this title. Fabiola Fujiwara is going to tell us one sniff at a time. One sniff at a time. Welcome, Fabiola Fujiwara.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm gonna move this so you can see me. I was an international student from Brazil, surviving my first quarter in college. I was still getting my ways into the American culture. And I realized that I had to put my Brazilian habits and my ways of doing things to the side. I did not want to be inappropriate on my very first date in Utah. I was excited and nervous. I was going out with a Mormon boy. I put my Brazilian ways to the side. Actually, I kicked it out. I made sure I did not greet him with a kiss. I kept my distance. I did not touch him when I talked. And I remember not to offer him a drink from my glass. It was, and on top of all that, I had to keep up with the conversation, which was in English. It was exhausting to keep up with everything to have a proper date in Utah. So far, I had managed. My date was coming to an end. And when he dropped me off, I just stood there. Should we hug? Should I give him a kiss on the cheek? And he just approached me and gave me a very awkward hug. And for the first time in the whole evening, when he was close to me, my reaction was to smell him. I couldn't help. I was tired. It was a habit of mine. And without thinking, I just sniffed him. And as soon as I smelled him, I knew. It was a huge mistake. He quickly started backing out, and he looked horrified, and he asked me, "Did you just sniff me?" And of course, I denied. I wanted to tell him I was going to sneeze, but I couldn't find the right words in English. Não, eu só ia espirrar. Eu ia espirrar. I was horrified and so embarrassed by the way he reacted. Like I had just licked his face. I apologized several times and I ran inside. And of course, we have never saw each other again. Let me explain. In Brazil, it is common for close friends, parents and kids, lovers, to greet or say bye to each other with a sniff. Like a quick smell. I have to admit that I might like a bit more than the average Brazilian. I learned how to sniff my friends here in the US in a very quiet way. It is a habit of mine and something that brings too much joy to give up. It makes me feel closer to the person, since each person has a very unique scent. It is not good or bad. It's just the way the person smells. And it is wonderful to connect with someone through the sense of smell. I want to tell you a story about my beautiful, feminist, and intellectual Aunt Daisy. She, unfortunately, had just lost her long battle to lung cancer. When I walked into her house, I almost forgot that she had passed away. I was waiting for her to come downstairs and fill the room with her wisdom and energy. But of course, this did not happen. We had just finished a great meal with the family, and I was in the living room, in the same spot I used to sit with my aunt. And we used to enjoy a liqueur, smoke a cigarette, and chat for hours. And I was reminiscing of how much she challenged me as a woman, how much she inspired me, and how much I miss her. And suddenly, like a nice breeze on a hot summer night, I could smell her, like she was sitting next to me. It was her lovely scent, a mix of cigarette, citrus, jasmine, and old books. It was such a gift. What about you? Have you smelled your loved ones? Really smell them. It is really lovely and powerful when I arrive in Brazil and smell my parents. It brings me to tears. It brings me home. And it smells like cooked rice, eucalyptus, grass, and orchids. Or when I arrive home after a long and tough day at work and I smell my husband Jorge, it invigorates me. It makes me forget about problems. I just focus on his embrace and his scent of milk, honey, and peppermint. It brings me love and comfort. Or when my daughter Micaela arrives home, her smell is sweet. Like when she was a baby, that sweet baby smell. It's a scent that I can sniff all day long. And sometimes I do get the look, Mom, it's enough. But it's never enough to sniff your kid. When I travel, I get very excited and curious about all the smells that I'm about to experience. Like the smell of rain, dirt, and flowers when you are on a tropical rainforest. The Brazilian airport, it smells like coffee, cheese bread, and ethanol. What about the smell of sourdough bread, coffee, and ocean? It is San Francisco. In Spain, it smells like orange blossom, wine, and jamon. My lovely San Diego, it smells like rosemary, wood chips, tortillas, and of course the ocean. So now when someone catches me sniffing them and they ask me, did you just sniff me? I smile and I tell them, yes. And you smell wonderful, like berries, herbs, and coffee. And it's amazing how many people come back to me and start describing the scent of their loved ones. And it's wonderful to connect with people. So what if we could bring more love to this world. So we are closer and more connected. One sniff at a time.